Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. Happy Thursday and Happy New Year. My name is Sandy Elson, and on behalf of the travel professional community and travelprofessionalnews.com, I want to welcome all of you to today's webinar. Our host today is Hurtigruten Cruise Line, and our speaker is Jacqueline Day, Director of Home-Based and Strategic Accounts, Hurtigruten Americas. Jackie has been in the travel business for 30 years. Before Hurtigruten, Jackie worked for Carnival, Norwegian Cruise Line, and Holland America. Jackie's topic today is Learn More About Hurtigruten, the world leader in exploration travel. Before we get started, please remember that you are all muted, but we welcome your questions. You can type in your questions at any time in the question area you see on the right-hand panel of your screen. At the end of Jackie's presentation, we'll get to as many questions as we can. Also, take note that Jackie will be giving away two $50 gift cards at the end of the webinar. I'll give you more details about that a little bit later on. So let's get right to all of this exciting information about Hurtigruten. Welcome, Jackie.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for joining me this afternoon. I'm in California, so we're just wrapping up the morning on my end, but I just wanted to thank you for taking the time to join me. And I'm very excited to share with you a little bit about Hurtigruten and what makes our product so special. We are truly the world leaders in exploration travel, and we provide authentic and immersive experiences for our travelers who really want to connect with their inner explorer. We are experts in polar expedition cruising. And so most of our cruises are either in the Arctic or in Antarctica, and are in those cold weather destinations that are bucket list trips that your clients are dying to take. The nice thing is Hurtigruten has been around for a long time. We have 125 years of know-how and experience, so we can really take your clients there and you can trust us with confidence. And we strive to offer safety, security, and a really unmatched, authentic experience in these polar weather and polar water destinations. Our captains and our crew and our staff have been traversing these lands and these oceans for many, many years and are truly, truly polar cruising experts. One of the most amazing things that you'll experience on a Hurtigruten cruise in any of our destinations is incredible wildlife and incredible nature. We have 67 unique itineraries and over 200 excursions, which can range from kayaking to dog sledding, snowmobiling, hiking, snowshoeing, glacier hikes, and lectures and designated science rooms on board our vessels. We go to Antarctica, Arctic Canada, Greenland, Iceland, the Northwest Passage, Norway, Svalbard, and in 2020, we will have a full season of new Alaska sailings. We are very excited about this, and if you've been in travel, certainly in North America for any length of time, I'm sure you're very familiar with how popular Alaska is as a cruise destination. And what I want to stress is that traveling to Alaska via Hurtigruten will be a very, very unique and different way to see and experience the true Alaska for your clients. We definitely have the most choice in Antarctica. We have 3 different length sailings, over 30 departures with 3 ships. And let me break that down for you a bit. We have 8 itineraries ranging from 13 to 23 days. So the 3 most popular sailings we have that you'll see us repeat are a 13-day direct Antarctica sailing, which is a concentrated immersion in Antarctica with several landings. Then there's an 18-day Antarctica Plus, which includes the Chilean Fjords and the Falkland Islands. And then there's the 23-day Ultimate Antarctic Adventure, which is the Rolls Royce, the top of the line, and your clients will have several days of Antarctica landings, as well as a visit to the Falkland Islands and South Georgia. So that one is something that's really incredible. And I'll be honest with you, I know that sometimes people look at that and think the price point is kind of high, but the truth is you really are doing a bucket list trip when you take that trip. And if you're going to go all the way to Antarctica, why not tack on those few extra days and see the splendor of South Georgia and the incredibly wilderness of the Falkland Islands. Just incredibly beautiful places to visit. Our ships are also there's a focus with our company, I apologize, to be sustainable. And we have 2 brand new ships coming out, which will be the world's first hybrid electric powered cruise ship. So not unlike, you know, my old car, my Ford Fusion, which is a hybrid electric car, these ships are going to be working under the same electric power. And there are a lot of benefits to this. Obviously, our goal is to reduce any toxic emissions, and we'll be able to reduce that by 20%. But in addition to that, and having less of an impact on our planet, it's also going to provide a much smoother sailing through Antarctica and through the fjords, whatever the itinerary is. Just imagine going seamlessly and completely soundlessly through these incredible itineraries. So that's going to be something really, really nice and something we're very excited about. Now, we have the most expertise in our polar landings, whether it's the Arctic or the fjords or Antarctica. We have years and years of experience, and I wanted to show these photos to show you what our ships look like. Our ship's passenger count is either between 200 to 300 or 500 passengers. So our largest ships that are coming out still are under 600 passengers. So that's a really, that paints a picture of the size of our ships. They're beautiful, they're well appointed, and I'll show you more on that in a bit, but they're small. And having said that, in addition to that, the way that we do our landings in most of these destinations, especially Antarctica, is we do zodiac landings. So in many cases, we're not stopping at a place where there's a pier or a port or people or even buildings in most cases. So it's literally beach landings or ice landings, and we have the equipment and the expertise to handle that with your clients seamlessly, which is really incredible. So we have a nimble fleet with polar experience that allows us to make these landings in very difficult to reach places. We have water level access, which makes it easier and much safer to get on board our ships and our Zodiacs. And then we have custom-built landing craft, which expedites the process for going ashore. The experience on board for our passengers is unlike any other. It's really, really unique in that every sailing, then every itinerary is a little bit different. Our staff and our team on board has been trained to take advantage of opportunities, whether it's wildlife sightings, so they can be nimble and change itineraries on a dime. Certainly in Antarctica, every single day is different because with weather conditions and ice conditions, it can change from day to day or even hour to hour as to where our ships are able to get in, where the Zodiacs are able to land, either on the ice or on the land or on the beaches. And what's neat is that we have an incredible crew on board our ships as far as the technical side of it, getting our passengers to the land. But in addition, we have an incredible expedition team on all of our ships, and their expertise is in biology, geology, ornithology, which is the study of birds, which I did not know until I came to work here at Hurtigruten. We have photography specialists and Arctic survival specialists. So these are people who have a true passion and incredible knowledge about the places that we're visiting, and they love nothing more than to share that with our passengers and your guests. So it's a really once-in-a-lifetime situation. Now, who are perfect potential Hurtigruten passengers? Well, let me tell you, these are people who are looking for a really meaningful experience when they travel. If you have someone who's looking for an experience where they just want to maybe lay on a beach and do nothing for a week, that's great, but that's probably not someone who's going to be drawn to a Hurtigruten cruise. Our passengers are looking for activities and beautiful sights and sounds, and they want something that's kind of powerful and meaningful. We are a company that people are drawn to us who are caring about the environment and who are very interested in leaving a smaller footprint. And so people who are drawn to our sustainability dedication will be really drawn to Hurtigruten. These are people who want incredible interactions with nature and wildlife. And they're not looking to be excessively pampered. Now, we are a premium cruise line. We have beautiful accommodations and fine dining on board, but it is by nature of the places that we travel to a more casual environment. So it's something, and I'll show you some pictures of our ships in a few slides so you can get a better feel for what I mean by that. It's a very, very nice experience without being formal or stuffy or excessive in any regard like that. So how can you identify out of your clients, potential Hurtigruten passengers? We've broken it down from our studies and our feedback to 3 different groups of very good potential travelers for Hurtigruten. And the first group is our premium travelers, age 45 to 64. They have high levels of education and income. These are people who like to experience new things. There might be a little bit of the group of people who like bragging rights to be able to say, oh, Antarctica, well, I've done that last year. If you know that type of person who loves to be able to say they've been somewhere that's very, hard to get to. They have very high expectations of service standards, which we meet, and they want to do their expedition cruising and experience nature in ways like hiking and kayaking. They're active and they want to take part in those sorts of things. Our next group is a little bit younger. It's our outdoor enthusiasts. Now, these are, people 35 to 59, higher education, definitely good income. These are usually people that are still working for a living and are adventurers. They are very well traveled. They like to go to places that are off the beaten path. They're very active. They are the people that are going to be drawn to us because they've seen the pictures and they want to go camping in Antarctica and sleep on a glacier. Or they want a dog sled in Svalbard, which is really exciting. You can see from the pictures here, it's a beautiful experience and not for the faint of heart. It's pretty thrilling. And then we have our active observers. And that's our slightly older guests, ages 55 to 69. And these are people who are probably retired, maybe semi-retired, comfortable financial situation. They like to immerse themselves in culture and in nature. They are more of the observers, though. So they want to view the northern lights. They want to see the penguin colonies. They want to do the whale watching excursions. And this is a perfect fit for those type of passengers as well. So moving on, let's dig right into Antarctica, our most popular destination. The place that we visit when we do our landings in Antarctica is this little peninsula over here off the coast of South America. You pass through the Drake Passage there. And that can be a very bumpy ride for those of you who are not familiar with the Drake Passage, but it can either be called the Drake Lake if it's smooth, or the Drake Quake if it's a shaky ride. But either way, I don't know anyone who's been able to traverse it who didn't say it was absolutely amazing. So these are some beautiful photographs from some of my coworkers of the incredible icebergs and the views that you will see in Antarctica. It's really something just stunning. Vast wilderness, incredible wildlife. You can see whales, walruses, sea lions, penguins, birds of all kinds. And what's neat is that they're very unafraid of humans because there is so little human interaction there. It's almost like it's a learned behavior that they haven't had to learn, which is really nice as well. The penguins are incredibly friendly. Of course, we coach passengers and guests on how to handle when they walk up to you, and you just want to be respectful of them, but they will come right up to you, and you'll be able to get incredible pictures and have a story of a lifetime. This is a great shot of the boats, the Zodiacs that we use for our landings, which just shows you how easy it is to get on and off our ship. Again, with a much smaller group of passengers, it's very easy to get on and off a ship. And we do it in small groups, and the group landing rotates every day. So if you were group 1 on one day, you might be group 3 the next day, or vice versa. But that way there, it makes it fair and everyone gets their chance. And the landings are different, literally every single sailing, because we never know with weather conditions and icing conditions what the best stop is going to be. You can sometimes, if you want to do a landing and get off and go hiking and go walking with the penguins, you can do so. If you'd rather take a Zodiac for just a cruise around to look for wildlife on the cruise, on the Zodiacs, and to go iceberg photographing, you can do that as well. And as you can see, there's some great nature, great wildlife. Dolphins and whales are all over the place. This is what it looks like if you are one of the lucky ones to go camping in Antarctica. Now we have set up for about 30 tents, which would be 15 people. I'm sorry, yeah, 15. No, I apologize. 30 tents, so 60 people maximum, and it's done through a lottery because so many people want the opportunity to do this. Now, this is the short excursion. You do pay extra to do it, and it's done on a lottery to make it fair so that everyone who wants to try it puts their name in the hat, and there are the lucky few are chosen. And it's a night of camping in this tent in Antarctica. It's an experience of a lifetime. Several of my coworkers have done it, and they loved it. And I love this picture. Kayaking is incredible through the glaciers, and the photographs are absolutely beautiful. And what's nice is you don't have to be an athlete. We have our expedition hosts who take you out on the kayak, so it's not like you're out there on your own in the wilderness. They're there with you the whole time. Now, when to go to Antarctica? There are basically 3 seasons, early, middle, and late, and there are benefits to each season, not unlike Alaska. So in the early part of the season, it's great for photographers because the pristine white snow is never going to look cleaner and whiter and brighter. And it's a great time of year for snowshoeing, camping, etc. The middle of the season, that's when we're going to have the warmest temperatures. It's a great mix of wildlife. And then later in the season, that's when you'll see the best accessibility and easiest time to do landings because a little bit of the ice and the snow has melted. So it's easier to get into many different ports of call. So the ship can make the call as what the best spots are, what the prettiest spots are, and what's going to be easiest for them to get in and out of with the zodiacs. And that's certainly the time of year where we see the most mammal viewing. With the penguins, a big part of my training coming to Hurtigruten was learning about all these beautiful different kinds of penguins. And I think on every slide and every training class I went through, we were reminded that everybody loves penguins, which is kind of fun. And it's really true. And there are different penguins that are popular in different areas. And so that's something that people love to follow when they're on our sailings. Now, I have several different slides with all of our itineraries. I'm not going to go through these point by point. I just wanted to show you some of the different opportunities for you. And if you have any questions, I can help you find these, or you can look on our website to read more about a specific itinerary. We have several different itineraries to choose from in Antarctica. Now, moving on, it's also important to me that you know that we have Norway, Svalbard, and Franz Josef Land sailings. Franz Josef Land is a group of Russian islands that is way, way, way up here near the Arctic. And Svalbard is this island over here. It's a group of islands. It's supposed to be absolutely beautiful. We have several different itineraries, 14 days, 10 days circumnavigating Svalbard. And, oh, I went too fast there. I did want to point out what's really neat and what Svalbard is known for is, let me see, I think I jumped ahead, polar bears. This is where you will see polar bears all over the place. You'll get great shots, great photos. It's really something special to see. And in Franz Josef Land, it's another area that's known for beautiful kayaking through the glaciers. Oh, just look at the blue of that glacier. Isn't that beautiful? And again, you would join our expedition team, not unlike Antarctica, and they would help you with wildlife, polar bear sightings, learning about the history. You get to do glacier walks, and you visit very, very remote areas. Moving on, we also offer Iceland and Greenland. And as you all know, Iceland is a very, very popular destination right now. So please keep us in mind. If your clients, contact you looking for a land vacation to Iceland, I know there are many great land operators, and that's a great way to see Iceland. But cruising offers a whole other level. And we have several different itineraries that hit different ports in Iceland. So you'll be able to see all the destinations, all the different spots in Iceland that are very popular right now. Greenland as well has been really popular for us as well. We have a circumnavigate Iceland itinerary. We have a Greenland and Iceland itinerary. And then we have a midnight sun exploration in Greenland as well. This is another itinerary that covers Greenland and Iceland. And this itinerary covers Iceland, Spitsbergen, and the Arctic Islands discovery. Now, moving along, if you have clients who are really, really adventuresome, I would definitely recommend you look at the Northwest Passage. This is polar expedition cruising at its best in some of the most remote places in the world. This is something that if you have someone who has a real appreciation for history and our country's explorers and the European great explorers, they would absolutely love this and these sorts of itineraries. You can go through the Northwest Passage. We have a 24-day cruise, and this is on the Roald Amundsen, which is our new ship that's coming out. And I'll tell you more about her in just a minute as well. And then finally, we have Alaska, Canada, and North America. Our Alaska itinerary will hit some of the ports of call that the big ships hit, such as Ketchikan and Sitka. But what's exciting is we have some other smaller ports and other destinations that are going to be a little less well-traveled, and we're going to be able to offer some really neat activities and sports and fun things for people to do that make it a very unique Alaska trip. And then we also have several different Canadian trips as well, starting in New York or Boston, going up to the Canadian Maritimes as well. Now, we would like to refer to our ships, our vessels, as our base camps at sea. Now, the first one I'd like to show you some pictures of is the MS Roald Amundsen, which is our newest ship coming out in May of this year. We have a sister ship to that, the Fritz Hansen, which is coming out in 2020, and they are basically going to be identical. Very stylish Scandinavian interiors, so a little bit contemporary, elegant, very comfortable. 3 different restaurants. We have an interactive science center on each of these ships, outdoor infinity pool and 2 jacuzzis, a wellness area, gym, sauna, and maximum of 265 cabins. So that's very, very exciting. As you can see from the pictures, they're very beautifully appointed. This is the Spitsbergen, which is a ship that we currently have and was recently renovated, in 2016. Only 100 cabins. So again, this is one of our smaller ships, but as you can see, beautiful, sort of contemporary in design with all the bells and whistles that your clients would ask for. The Fram is really our unmatched explorer ship, and this is one that we use for our longer itineraries. It has a science center, 127 cabins, so again, it's one of our smaller ships, and this is the one that we use for our longest sailings to Antarctica. The Midnight Soul is our discovery ship. This is one of our largest ships with 298 cabins, built in 2003. It was completely renovated and redone as recently as 2016. There's this beautiful 2-story panorama lounge and bar with incredible views, very nicely appointed staterooms, jacuzzi on board, fitness room. So there is something for everyone. We also have our Hurtigrutenagents.com website, which I just want to make sure you're aware of. And if you haven't done so yet, I would like to ask you to make sure that you go to the Amundsen Explorer Club. That's our agent certification program. It's a great training course, because I know this webinar is really just the tip of the iceberg, pun intended. But if you take our agent certification program, what's nice is that you will be listed on our website as a specialist, and you will also be you'll get a $100 gift card when you make your first Hurtigruten booking. So it's after you've made that first booking and it's paid in full, you will receive a $100 gift card from us. So that's something that's really fun that we do as well. And finally, this is just sort of a friendly reminder, just so that you know, as a cruise line, we do not charge NCFs or port taxes or fees. What we do is we have one cruise fare, which includes everything. So there's no additional fees. So you get commission, your full commission on top of that. There's nothing taken out. You get airfare, hotel, and transfers commission as well. It's a slightly lower rate. Usually it's at 5%. But whatever your full commission is for your agency, and it does vary a little bit, that would be the full amount that you get on the full cruise fare. So you don't have to worry about NCFs or no commissionable fares or taxes or fees. We are a very lucrative product for you to sell. So again, this is just a reminder for our agent certification program. What's in it for you? It's a great option for you. And I wanted to make sure you have my contact information as well. My name is Jackie Day. My email is jacqueline.day@hurtigruten.com. I've listed my phone number here as well, 951-417-9383. I'm here to help you and to work with you and to help you sell Hurtigruten in any way that I can. So thank you for your time. And with that, I will pass it back to Sandy.
Thanks so much, Jackie. That was really fantastic. What an amazing product this is. We do have several questions, so let's get right to them. One agent wants to know, do you still do cruises on ships that deliver goods along the Norwegian coast?
That's a very good question. We do have we call them our port-to-port sailings in Norway. And we certainly can book that, but our focus as a cruise line is more on our real cruise ships, because those experiences, they're more like ferry ships, and we can book them, but that's not really what I'm here to promote and to work with our travel partners. So yes, we have them. And if you want to go to our B2B website, that's where you would book those. But the cruises that we're promoting in the North America market right now are our expedition cruises.
Okay, great. Thank you. Is dog sledding available on the 13-day trip that you mentioned?
It wouldn't be available. The 13-day trip is the one you're talking about to Antarctica. The dog sledding is not available in Antarctica. That's available in the Scandinavian region. So that would be available on most of our Norway itineraries, potentially our Alaska itineraries, and possibly our Iceland and or Greenland itineraries. So that wouldn't be, the dog sledding is not in Antarctica, but yes, on some of the shorter cruises that are in those other destinations I discussed, we would have dog sledding.
Okay, great. When is the Drake Passage the calmest? You mentioned 3 different seasons. Is there one season that the Drake is a lake and not a quake?
That's a great question. And unfortunately, if I could tell you the magic month or the magic couple of weeks that it's perfect, I'd be a millionaire. But unfortunately, you just never know. You never know. And the only thing I can tell you is, like I said, everyone I know who's done it, I have to confess I have not done it yet, but the people that I know that I've talked to everyone and I've talked to people who had a real easy passage and others who said it was really rough. I haven't met anyone who said it wasn't worth it. You know, they say it's a few hours of, bumpy waters or rough waters, but then you're there and it's smooth as glass once you're in Antarctica. So it's just getting through there can sometimes be rough, but it's well worth it.
Okay, great. Are visas required for any of the destinations? Our agent is mentioning Franz Josef Land. Are visas required for Americans?
No, that's an excellent question. And they are not required on an individual level. If there are places where we need to get a visa as a company, we go ahead and we do that ahead of time. So for Franz Josef Land, I do think that we as a company have to have the visa, but it's almost like when your clients go on a more mass market cruise line to St. Petersburg, they don't have to get, as long as they go with the ship and with a ship sponsored shore excursion, they don't have to get their own individual visa. That's how it works for us. Now, there may be some other itineraries where you may have to have certain documents, but at the time of booking, we would definitely go over that with you.
Okay, fantastic. When is the best time to see the Northern Lights, and is there any particular cruise on which passengers usually see them?
That's a great question. Really, all of the Norway, Greenland, Iceland itineraries in the summer into fall is when we normally see the Northern Lights, and so that's what we would recommend. But again, it's almost like it's hit or miss. You never know when you're going to hit it. But we do have, we've had great success. And in fact, with our Norway sailings, our Norway coastals, we offer a Northern Lights guarantee, which is where we're so sure that the odds are so high that you will see the Northern Lights, that if you don't, when you come back, you get a discount of 50% off your next future cruise to try again to see them.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and there is a specific window for that guarantee, and I apologize, I'm new enough that I don't have it locked and loaded in my memory, but if you go to our website and look for the Northern Lights guarantee at Hurtigruten.com, it'll tell you the exact dates where we run that offer.
Fantastic. One of our agents wants to know if there's a brochure available yet on your Alaska cruises.
We don't have a specific brochure just for Alaska, but we do have our new catalog for 2019 into 2020, which does include Alaska. So yes, we do have a full big brochure that has Alaska included in it.
Okay, great. A vote of confidence here. One of our agents said that she did receive a booking because she was listed from having taken the course and being listed as an agent. So.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And I swear I didn't ask her to say that. That's a real legit referral. So thank you for that great success story.
One of our agents wants to know the names again of the 2 hybrid electric ships.
Well, the first is the MS Roald Amundsen, named after the famed explorer, and the second one is Fritz Nansen.
Okay. Um, does Hurtigruten have a group policy? And if so, what is it?
We do. We do offer group space. It's a little bit trickier than your more mass market cruise lines because we have very limited inventory. And in addition to that, we have several different offices around the world that sell into our inventory because we're with the North America sales office, but there's the European one. We have an Australian sales office. But just so that you know the basics of our group program, if you sell 5 cabins with 2 people in each cabin, um, then you would earn 1 TC. You'd earn a free. And as far as things like cocktail parties and things like that, where our group program is not terribly robust, and I'm just being very honest with you in saying that. But things like that we can set up, but it's not like we're the other cruise lines where we have a menu of things and amenities you can choose from for groups. So if you want to put a group together, they're usually anything on board that's special for your group will be done completely custom, and I am here to help you with that.
Okay, fantastic. Speaking of cocktail parties, what kinds of things will cost extra on board the ships? Are drinks extra, gratuities, that kind of thing?
Yes, we do not have, there's no gratuities, so you don't have to worry about that at all. Drinks are not included right now. We are moving to that, but they are available for purchase, of course. But we are moving in the 2020 and 2021 seasons. We're going to be going to wine and beer and spirits with dinner. So we will be serving some alcohol with dinner complimentary, but then there will be bars that are open after hours or at different times, and those would still be at an additional cost. All the shore excursions are an additional cost, and they vary wildly. So there are, some that are more budget minded, and then some, depending what you want to do, some that with equipment and things, sometimes that can get a little bit more pricey. But we do have a wide variety of excursions that we offer on all of our itineraries.
Okay, great. A little note about the demographics. You broke down the ages of passengers or of our clients who may be right for Hurtigruten. What does a demographic on board look like? Are there many different nationalities and different age groups on board?
Yes. Yes, absolutely different age groups from, 35 to 70. So it can really be anything. Obviously, once you get into these much longer itineraries, that skews it to be a little bit older as well, because usually it's the older people that have that kind of time. But we have a very, very international group of passengers. So we pull from all over Europe. We have a lot of Europeans. We have Asians. We have Australians. North Americans and Canadians. We have a great mix, and the languages spoken on our ships are Norwegian first, and English are the two that are used primarily. But the nice thing is our crew and our staff is very international as well, and they speak several different languages. So they're really equipped to handle all of our passengers, no matter where they're from and no matter what language they speak.
Okay, that's great to know. Speaking of handling all passengers, one of our agents wants to know if physically challenged passengers can be accommodated, or if these would be appropriate cruises for physically challenged.
That's a great question, and it's kind of like a yes and no. Certainly, depending on what the nature of the disability would be or the nature of their accessibility issues are, it would depend. If there was someone who maybe walks with a cane but is still, pretty active, that person would probably be fine. I'll tell you, we do have to have a doctor's sign off for any passenger who wants to sail with us to Antarctica, because it's rugged terrain and because we don't have easy access to get back. If God forbid there's a health emergency, it's not like we can easily get to a hospital if we're in Antarctica. So we do ask for a doctor's sign off, and what we ask is to find out if the client is basically in overall decent health, and if they would be able to walk at least a mile without assistance. Then if they can pass both of those and get a doctor's note saying it's a good idea for them to go to Antarctica, they can go. And now for our other destinations, we're not as stringent. You don't need a doctor's note, but if you're going on as an observer and you're not interested in really getting off the ship, then we can definitely be flexible and try to meet your needs depending on what they may be. But for most of our passengers, it's a very active group, and so just getting on and off the ship for our places that we don't have, that we don't dock, if they're getting off on these tenders, the tenders we use are very small. In many cases, they're those Zodiacs. So you have to be in pretty good physical health to be able to easily get in and out of those. So I hope that answers your question. We would definitely look at everything on a case-by-case basis, and we'd want to try to accommodate as many passengers as possible. But realistically, I wouldn't want to set the stage that no matter what your client's needs are, we can handle it, because there are some things that we couldn't handle and that we may not be a good fit for. So I just would want to set realistic expectations and encourage you to call me or call into our reservations team directly to ask the serious questions and to really kind of drill down into what exactly the clients need.
Okay, great. And we appreciate your candor on that answer. Let's take another couple of questions and then get to the gift giveaway. I want to tell our agents, if we don't get to your question or if you think of something after this webinar is over, Jackie has put her contact information up for you. So you can either email her or call her and she will point you in the right direction to answer your question. Is there evening entertainment on the Antarctic cruises, but on any of your cruises?
Yeah, that's another great question. We do have, I would say, limited entertainment. We would have lectures, but the majority of our entertainment is more in the form of lectures and informational talks versus shows. We don't have big showrooms. We don't have casinos on board. So if that's what your clients are looking for, we don't have that. But we do have, bars and lounges with live music. It may be someone playing guitar or playing piano, a little more informal and more casual. But usually the greatest form of entertainment is the wildlife and the nature around you.
And talking to your fellow passengers, I'm sure. that's
Absolutely.
always a nice thing to do.
Very interesting group on board.
Yeah,
yes, exactly.
Yeah. Are agents restricted to booking only passengers from North America to earn commission?
No, nope, not at all. And I know what they're asking, because several cruise lines do have policies against that. We don't.
Okay, great.
If they're your client and you can recommend us to them and you'd like to book them, we want you to keep that booking.
Great. And our last question is, how can travel agents experience this product, either with travel agent rates or with fam trips?
That is an excellent question, and we do periodically have fam trips. Right now, we are promoting one in April of this year. I'm not sure if there's any space left on it, but if you are interested, I will tell you it's a longer cruise. It's a 15-day cruise in the Caribbean, and it's $9.99 per person. I can send you the details if you're interested, and I'll have to find out if we have any space left. I think we had 30 cabins, and it came out a couple weeks ago, and we had a lot of interest, which is great. So I can send that to you if you're interested. Just follow up with me after the presentation.
Okay, that's great. And I think that'll do it for the questions for now. So Jackie, if it's okay with you, let's get to the prize giveaway. As I said, we are giving away two $50 gift cards. One is from Jackie and Hurtigruten, and one is from Travel Professional News, the organization that is bringing you this webinar. So here's how it's going to work. Jackie's going to ask a question about something that she discussed during her webinar, and I will take the 5th correct answer for one card and the 8th correct answer for the second card. And just a hint, the answer to this question has 2 words to it, and you have to write both words and they have to be spelled correctly. So Jackie, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, great. What is the name of our new ship that will be coming out in May of this year?
Okay. Oh, we're getting answers. Let's see who has spelled everything right.
Great.
Okay, let me write down these names. We have winners. Well, Jackie, everybody was listening. We have lots of answers.
Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad.
And here are the winners. Let me just write down this last name. So the correct answer was the Roald Amundsen, and you can look up how that's spelled. And the first winner of our gift card is Denise McMillan. So congratulations, Denise. And the second winner is Sheila McCleary. So congratulations to both Denise and Sheila. We will be passing your names along, and Jackie and Travel Professional News will get in touch with you and let you know how to redeem your cards. So this was great. You'll see, Jackie, that we had lots and lots of answers. So thank you to everyone who was
Wonderful.
paying such close attention. This wonderful webinar has been brought to you by Hurtigruten, and our terrific speaker has been Jacqueline Day, Director of Home-Based and Strategic Accounts, Hurtigruten Americas. Jackie, thank you so much. That was just fantastic.
Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and I hope to work with you all, and to talk with you all soon.
We hope so as well. And I'll add my thank you to our agents for taking time out of your busy day to join us today. I know you got a lot out of this. So that does it for our webinar. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.